see. Maybe we should do this one.
Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university-level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
Meow meow. Kitty is being persistent. So persistent. Hi, Kitty. She wants to be a part of the show today. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Kitty, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? I think she wants to say hi. Let's see if I can get her. Wow. Big girl. Say hello. Good girl. Some days she's just very cuddly. I don't know. I can't predict them. It's on and it's off. All right. So there's all sorts of little newsy things. I was looking at, there was one article I was going to put. There was there's this organization that determines when we are or aren't in a recession, but they're like the conference of economists. It's some real bullcrappy kind of self-important douchebaggy Ivy League title. And you can tell it's a bunch of jackasses that have never spent 4 minutes like in a real job, because one of the main factors they use for determining whether or not we're in a recession is whether the stock market's doing good. You don't have to go any further than looking at the Venezuelan stock market. Gangbusters. It's doing amazing when the government's printing currencies out of control and debasing the currency faster than the Weimar Republic. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. They wouldn't have been in a recession either, by the way, based on this. Anyway, they're like, sure, the numbers are getting worse, but they're not getting worse at the same rate. What? Yeah, things are worse. Grandma's dead, but she's cooling slower than we would have thought her to cool. Oh, okay, cool. So they said it's no longer a recession like we thought 2 weeks ago. Things are fine. Never mind every piece of data. Whatever. Anyway, so I thought that was funny, but it wasn't good enough to like read the whole article, because it would just make you're just like, who are these idiots? Anyway, I'm sure they're all trying to eventually become politicians. I'm sure that's the next step for them. Like right from moss to like tree moss. So from moss on a rock, it's like one day I'm going to be moss on a tree. Okay. You do that, buddy. Anyway, let's see. We will talk about douchebag Gary Gensler. We will talk about a bunch of whale buying of Bitcoin. A lot of money's worth. What are layer 3 networks, which to me seem a bit stupid. It seems like jargon. It seems like maybe another way of just trying to get people to give them cash. What's next? Layer 4? That's kind of like, I was driving with my girlfriend. We were joking. There was like a place that's like what was it? Like a 6-day cleanse or something like that. And I was like, we should open up 5-day cleanse right next to it. Put them out of business. We have same cleanse, save 20% of the time. But this is kind of crap. Anyway, so we'll talk layer 3 networks a little bit, and then we're going to have a greater discussion about the difference between value and price. We talk about this a lot. And on a simple level, it's the price is what the thing costs when you buy it. Value is some amount of future overall benefit you receive from it, which could be based on a lot of things. And everybody determines value. So if you value something, then it has value. And if you don't, it doesn't. Like everybody, that could be a little bit different for everyone. But there you go. All right. So yes, there you go. We will talk about these things. We will look at the markets, but we're not going to get into market discussion. So if you do have any kind of more general questions, then post them, but put the word question or Q in a little dash so I can see what your quandary is. But let's talk about douchebag Gary first. Old douchebag Gary. Let's see. Oh, I think there's a cool picture of him with laser eyes. He's such a douche. Anyway, Gary, so you guys remember are you guys familiar with the rumor that was started that Kamala would appoint Gary Gensler head of the Treasury? And everybody's like, that's a bunch of bullcrap. And then a bunch of politicians came forward and said, on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, they were like, that is not true. That's not, no way. Like, no way. I thought it'd be funny. I thought, well, maybe this is something that like the Trump campaign started as just like an FU to the Democrats so that they would have to walk it back and all this. But nope. No, it's even seedier than that. It turns out that Gary Gensler, the garbage collector himself, started the Gary Gensler will be Treasury Secretary rumor. And this is coming from Custodia Bank CEO. So Custodia Bank CEO Caitlin Long believes that SEC Chair Gary the Man Gensler, was himself the source of the recent Treasury Secretary appointment rumors. What a piece of shit he is. Anyway, industry leaders debunked rumors of Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary. Caitlin Long suggested that it was Gensler himself who may have started the rumors, and Ripple CTO David Schwartz, who no one cares about. So we're not even going to mention anything he said. And also, unfortunately, Charles Hoskinson, who also no one really cares about at this point, they reacted critically. No shit. They should be building stuff, but David Schwartz doesn't build anything over at Ripple because they don't have anything over at Ripple. And Charles builds a bunch of stuff that nobody uses. So there we go. Anyway, rumors swirling about SEC Chair Gary Gensler potentially becoming the Treasury Secretary if Kamala Harris wins the 2024 presidential election have been stirred into a significant amount of debate within the crypto industry. However, Caitlin Long debunked these claims. Moreover, she believes it was Gary Gensler himself who started these rumors. How the Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary rumor started. So the speculation originated, this was probably Friday or Saturday, I saw this start popping up, from a Washington Reporter scoop by Matthew Foldy, who is obviously a fucking dummy. Like, dude, how stupid. Anyway. In the report, dummy Foldy reiterated that Paradigm CLO Katie Berber had floated the notion of a Gensler plan. This plan would allegedly ensure a Democratic commission majority, a Democrat commission majority in 2025, forcing the newly elected President Trump to oust him. So I guess the idea was, anyway, it would position Gary Gensler to become the SEC commissioner once more, but then get booted. And anyway, so it would enable it would have enabled President Biden to appoint a successor like Carolyn Crenshaw, who is, by the way, known for to be anti-crypto everything, anti just electrons. She doesn't even like lights. She's not a big fan of lights. People turn the lights on in the room. She's like, stop that. Stop moving forward with technology. Let us catch up. Like, okay. She's got like whale oil in the corner. Anyway, the SEC's anti-crypto crusade would continue even if Gary steps down, knowing he would be fired. And then Carolyn Crenshaw ideally would be in there, and then she wouldn't get fired, I guess, because people wouldn't know who she was so much. It seems a little sketchy. Anyway, the Gensler plan generated a mix of skepticism among industry figures and political commentators. The cause of the latest rumors is a Capitol Hill source familiar with SEC matters. A source familiar. Well, I'm familiar with SEC matters. Old dummy Foldy over here never quoted me. What a jackass. The source suggests that Gensler might agree to such a scenario if he were promised a role as Treasury Secretary by Kamala if she was to win. So basically, this is the same thing that Biden did. Biden stepping aside to let Kamala run. This would be Gary Gensler stepping aside to let Crenshaw be in charge, knowing that he would be fired, probably either way, but knowing he would be fired. But yet the Gensler thesis would live on and choke point would continue. These guys are so jackassy. They're so jackassy. Anyway, so a bunch of people got, all spun up about this. Of course, if you read this, you would know in 13 seconds it's stupid. But apparently people love to just cling on to stupid. So a bunch of Democrats, like senators and stuff like that, called to say the Gensler as Treasury Secretary rumor is completely false. So everybody on both sides, the Republicans were like, that's bullcrap. The Democrats were like, that's definitely bullcrap, because that would further align them with something that they're trying to kind of distance themselves from, which, is pretty funny. And Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balkunas spotlighted Emmer's stance. Republican Tom Emmer had previously cautioned it was kind of like the way things are going, Kamala might choose Gensler or Senator Elizabeth Warren for Treasury Secretary. Well, I don't think Treasury Secretary requires a lot of brain power, so they certainly could both do the job. But it's unlikely that Elizabeth Warren, well, I say that, maybe. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, while she's an idiot, I mean, it's pretty clear because Yellen will never have another recession. Yellen, she's doing just fine at the Treasury. I mean, everything's fine, isn't it? The national debt's fine. It's not like we're in a bunch of unrepayable debt, so there's no problem there. Like, really, everything's fine. It's not like they're creating a bunch of money out of thin air. So I'd say Treasury, job well done. Bravo Zulu to Janet Yellen. Why wouldn't Elizabeth Choke Point 2.0 Warren be great? I contend she would be awesome. Anyway, but then they basically went back and said, look, Gary Gensler's been bringing lawsuits all over the place and losing all over the place, even losing cases they should win. So the time for Gary Gensler to have a political future has passed. Gary Gensler needs to move on. His career in government is over. There. Oh, Gary. So what do you guys think? Let's have a little vote. Gary for emperor. Should we just make Gary emperor of the free world? Give him some laser eyes. Let him move on up. Run the galaxy. I think the galaxy's fine. I don't think we give him like the whole universe, but we give him maybe this galaxy. And we see how he does first with a solar system. And if he does okay, then we put him in charge of nebulas and big red giants and all that kind of stuff. What do you think? Deal? Gary for emperor? I mean, Greg, you're a dick. Gary's an awesome emperor. All right. So we nailed douchebag Gary. Let me adjust my little banner here. Douchebag Gary is gone. Hopefully his career is too, but he'll probably make a fortune going on the lecture circuit, talking about stuff that people are too dumb to. See, that's the other thing too. These guys get away with a lot because they'll throw a bunch of big spammy verbiage at people, and people go, I don't know if I should argue with him. He said interest rate swap spreads 3 times, and I don't know what the shit those are. So I better just say, yep, Gary, you're right. You're right. We don't know anything. We're simple plebeians. Gary, you said interest rate swap spreads, so I'm out. So he goes and gives these stupid fucking luncheons where he just blah, 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 blah. Same thing with the central bank guys. Although the one thing I'll give Jerome Powell is he does put everything in kind of regular plain speech. I like that about him. That's the only thing I like about him. But I do like him. He's not a bad guy. He's a liar. He's a huge liar. They're all liars. It's like that's their career. They lie for a career. All right. Let me put the comments back on here. Gary, yes. Gary is Guardian of Galaxy. Not even just Guardian of Galaxy. I don't think he was an MIT grad. I think Gary was a professor at MIT. Well, I know for a fact he taught at MIT because my roommate from college teaches at MIT. He runs the Whitehead Institute for genetics research and stem cell research. But Gary was in the finance economics side of that stuff. Shares off. Anyway, but yes, Gary did teach at MIT. Maybe he'll go back there as an adjunct asshole. All right. His brain is like Emperor Claudius. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Let's talk about the Bitcoin. Let me just make a little switch here. This makes a little cool little switch. All right. 5.76 billion in Bitcoin bought by whales in just 6 weeks amid the crypto market correction. And this is data coming from Santiment. Apparently deep-pocketed Bitcoin investors have been snapping up billions of dollars worth, well, not just billions, 5.67 billion worth of Bitcoin, according to analytics firm Santiment. Santiment says on social media platform X, the Bitcoin whales are showing continued accumulation after purchasing more than 5.76 billion worth of BTC amid the otherwise overall market correction. Bitcoin whales, specifically whales that hold between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin, have accumulated 94,700 more coins in the past 6 weeks. And I don't think this counts the new money that not Gary. I got Gary on the brain. That Michael, compulsive gambler sailor, is again borrowing into existence. This guy just gets away with damn murder. Anyway, whatever. Oh, did you hear, by the way, yesterday that Tether just minted another billion Tether? They just minted 1 billion. Here's 1 billion more Tether. You're like, where did it come from? Don't shh. Billion. Yeah, but don't people have to give you 1 billion? Shh. Right, but doesn't money have to come in? Shh. Okay. Tether. It's like the biggest straight up in your face counterfeiting operation in fucking history. It's the only non-government that can just print money other than like, is it Milton Bradley that owns Monopoly? They make Monopoly money, but they don't even make that much. I bet if you count all the money that's ever been printed, there's not 1 billion Monopoly monies. Jesus. Anyway, Bitcoin whales, specifically wallets that hold between 100 and 1,000 BTC, which is not me, have accumulated 94,700 more coins in the last month and a half. As price uncertainty has shaken many traders out of crypto, key stakeholders are loading up. Fellow analytics firm Glassnode is echoing Santiment's stance that investors are accumulating Bitcoin in the midst of market uncertainty. Well, that's because they're looking at the same data and they have the Bitcoin blockchain. They can look at wallet addresses and things like that. So there should never be a time where these analytics firms can come up with different answers. They might have different explanations. They can't have different answers. Anyway, the accumulation trend score. So this is a thing. The A ATS indicates a market shift back to accumulation, with the ATS reaching its maximum value of 1.0, signaling significant accumulation in the past month. We're having some accumulation over in the Northeast. We'll have some altcoin precipitation down in the South, followed by easterly winds. Earlier this month, the chief executive of analytics firm CryptoQuant, so there's a lot of these guys, said that the Bitcoin bull bear market cycle indicator, we'll call that the BBMCI, which tracks phases of investor sentiment, was back to bullish after briefly dipping into bearish territory. Most Bitcoin on-chain cyclical indicators show that we were hovering near the borderline, but have now shifted back towards signaling a bull market. BTC was discounted for only 3 days. Whoa. Okay. Shit. Sweet. So yeah, people buying that Bitcoin. Oh, whoa. Looks like my first part of my leg workout was over. I think I'll do this one now. I found another setting the other day when I was going through it. I was like, whoa, that's a cool setting. I'm going to try that setting. Look at me trying settings. I love it. Okay, we're going to talk about layer 3 networks. And you say, well, why are we talking about layer 3 networks? Well, because every about 3 months, it seems like a new bullshitty, trendy thing comes forward, and we get about 746 emails. Hey, have you heard of this? Yes, I've heard of it. It's dumb crap. And I know because when I go through the news feed, there's certain news aggregators that are always full of crap, like crypto politician or what is it called? It's one of the spammier ones, and all of the articles are crap. They're all like, Mbappe is the new Pepe and all this kind of crap. But I gotta tell you, the worst offenders. Oh, Bitcoinist. That's one of the worst offenders. Bitcoinist is crap. Oh damn! Since we've been talking, Bitcoin touched 61,000, and in the last 5 minutes dropped to 59,000. Chaos. Okay, so let's see. What's the bad one? Oh yeah, Cryptopolitan, like Metropolitan. Cryptopolitan is a scam news agency. Bitcoinist is a scam news agency. I'll tell you some of the other ones. News BTC is neither news nor do they ever talk about Bitcoin. Crypto Potatoes, bullshit. AMB Crypto is bullshit. Crypto Globe, BN Crypto, garbage. Null TX, garbage. Crypto Daily, a bunch of bullshit. Cryptopedia, sorry, not Cryptopedia, Coinpedia, just about anything with pedia on it, scammy. ZY Crypto, bullshit. Crypto Adventure, bullshit. Crypto News has no actual crypto news. It's all meme coin bullshit. Invez, the Crypto Basic Times tabloid, clearly bullshit. Oh, this is my favorite. Ripple Coin News. Ripple Coin News. You want to guess? Bullshit. Crypto Newsland, also bullshit. Crypto Toro, or no, Cryptoro. There's not, I added a gratuitous O. Cryptoro, garbage. Crypto Ticker, garbage. CoinTurk, U.Today, the Crypto Alert, and BH News is a bunch of BS. All of it. Those are all garbage. So I deselect all the shitty ones. For some reason, I try to deselect Cryptopolitan, and it won't deselect. It screws me. It like shows that it won't keep giving me news, and yet it keeps giving me news. I complained to the app once before and said, hey man, can I like desubscribe to these crappy ones? And they're like, you should be. Anyway, it was this whole thing. Anyway, there's that. So Bitcoin's crashing this second, but then it's going to go back up and whatever. So it's all nonsense. Anyway, there you go. So one of the newer spammy, bullshitty, you must invest in this things is layer threes. And the concept seems pretty simple, right? But what we will do is we will kind of talk about layer threes so that you at least understand what they are claiming to be, and then you can make your own decision or whether you want these in your portfolio. As you know, different types of blockchains exist. Some of them are not even blockchains. They're just distributed acyclic graphs. They're different lattice structures of data. Some of them have no blockchain at all, ledgerless data distribution mechanisms like Hypercycle with the native token. Anyway, the most popular of these blockchain systems, at least colloquially saying blockchain, is layer ones and layer twos. So you get it. Layer one, Ethereum, Cardano, Algorand, Polkadot, Cosmos, right? Layer twos, Optimism, Base, some of these other scammy ones, Matic, Harmony One, you get it. This article that I'm going to kind of go over with you, this is focused more on layer threes. And so a layer three network is a protocol built on top of base layers to offer a customized solution to user-specific needs. It's developed on the foundations of both layer one and layer two blockchains because layer two was not enough. So this is, instead of the 5-day diet, this is the 3-day diet on top of the 5-day diet next door to the 6-day diet. So who wouldn't do I would do 3-day diet if I don't have to do the 5 or the 6-day diet. I ain't got time for all that. I gotta be ready for the beach now by Thursday. Anyway, layer 3 networks are intended to improve functionality for dApps, which are decentralized applications, by addressing the limitations of layer 1s and layer 2s, because they just haven't gotten it right yet. So we, 6 nerds with a marketing agent, we're going to show you why they've got it all wrong. Anyway, typically layer 2 networks scale layer 1 blockchains, whereas layer 3 networks link different blockchains, thus facilitating or attempting to facilitate seamless communication between them. Right, because the layer 1s and layer 2s never thought about that. They never thought that anyone would need to communicate. That's a problem they just ignored. Anyway, layer 3 networks attempt to enable decentralized apps to interact and enhance transactions throughout and allow developers to deploy smart contracts. So dApps built on layer 3s have advanced governance systems that facilitate effective decision-making. Oh, well, again, this is the goal. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Anyway, let's briefly talk about the difference between layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, so that everybody gets this, so that no one spammy words you into investing in some stupid shit. All right. What are layer 1 blockchains or networks? Layer 1 networks or blockchains, protocols, provide fundamental architecture of an ecosystem. Ethereum, right? They don't depend on other networks to operate. And while transactions can be processed on layer 2s that sit right above these, and potentially layer 3 networks, they have to go back to layer 1 networks to be finalized. It has to appear in that data lattice, that structure or that blockchain, or in a block of data somewhere on the layer 1, or it didn't happen. So for transaction validation, layer 1s use consensus algorithms like proof of work, proof of stake, proof of uptime, proof of liveness, proof of proof, whatever, proof of something. You have to prove something happened in order for your transaction to be validated and have permanence. Layer 1s are known to be quite secure. However, due to significant transaction volumes, they sometimes are unable to obtain an optimal performance as far as like throughput, right? So they get slowed down, they get bogged, they get a lot of backlog transactions, things like this. Hence the need for layer 2s. And then this is where the argument goes, and also layer 3s. But like, where does this layer 40s? Oh, layer 39 it's just not enough. We need layer 40s so that the layer 1 through 39, like, come on, man. at a certain point, you got to know when you're being bullshitted. Anyway, layer 2 blockchains. Layer 2s are built on layer 1 foundations, right? They also inherit the security characteristics of those layer 1s. They improve the functionality of these blockchains or distributed systems, such as they can increase transaction speed, they can reduce costs, they can address interoperability problems without compromising on safety, because they inherit the safety characteristics of the layer 1. Layer 2 networks can be side chains, they can be state channels, or they can be roll-ups. And I'm not going to get into all that just yet. Well, it's not necessarily important to this conversation. So then we'll talk about layer 3s, because layer 2s just aren't enough. As mentioned, layer 3s are built using the technology of layer 1s and layer 2s, and they build scale. They are attempting to boost scalability beyond the layer 2s. You think, well, why if the layer 2s are cheap and fast? Because token, because invest in my token. Anyway, it enables the development of tailored applications and higher transaction throughput. Yeah, but it's like watching the movie Inception. Where is he? He's in a dream, within a dream, within a dream. Ah, snap. So clever. Anyway, moreover, transactions are cheaper on layer 3s than on layer 2s. Yeah, because fucking no one's using them. And it allows users to navigate through dApps cost effectively. Yes, but there's a lot of trade-offs. Anyway, layer 3s also attempt to facilitate seamless interaction among various networks, thus unlocking investment opportunities in DeFi, right? Because I know everyone here woke up this morning saying, you know what I don't have? I don't have enough exposure to spammy, scammy DeFi bullshit. That's what I need. And meme coins. I need more meme coins and I need more DeFi. Like, what do you need in DeFi? Just give me some DeFi. Why though? Because DeFi. Got it. I want to borrow against something that 74 other people have borrowed against, and I want to leverage that 270,000 times. Awesome. Can you do it for me? Yes. And it's gone. You're bankrupt. You're penniless. Shit. Sorry. Anyway, how do layer 3 networks actually function? So along with using the transactional capabilities of layer 1s and layer 2s, layer 3s come with what they claim to be sophisticated features that enable them to perform complicated off-chain computation while ensuring the network security isn't compromised. Well, right, because it's not happening on-chain. It's just some crap that's happening next door, and then your neighbor comes over with a cake. He's like, look what I made. You're like, okay, cool. I guess I'll put it in my kitchen. Furthermore, layer 3s use inter-blockchain communication apps to enable interaction between different blockchains. Why this has to be on a layer 3 is not super clear to me. I think this is just BS propaganda. I think layer 1s and layer 2s could have inter-blockchain communication apps. This isn't anything specific to layer 3s. Again, you just got to be careful you're not getting packaged a bunch of bullshit. Regarding the creation of decentralized apps, layer 3 networks offer virtual machine environments that enable Web3 developers to build dApps with futuristic functionalities. That's all of them. That's all of them. So anyway, use cases of layer 3s would probably be networks provide a bunch of use cases that are mostly gaming applications, DeFi, some enterprise applications, which I could see maybe for businesses or something might make sense. Managing a bunch of, let's say you had a bunch of smaller stores, or you managed a bunch of franchises. Like we just started doing franchise sales for Drive LA, our car rental company. So you sell people a franchise license, and then you train them, and then they go start their car thing, and then we might seed them with a car or two or a few cars or whatever. But anyway, long story short, then we get our little fees, but we might want to see some information day to day. We might want to be able to look at the books in real time, make sure they're not pulling shenanigans or getting shenanigans pulled on them. There you go. Anyway, so enterprise applications I could see, but you could do that on a layer 1 or a layer 2. Great. All right. They also say for certain dApp development, if you wanted to create multi-chain decentralized dApps that users can access on different blockchains, Again, that's nothing specific to layer 3, so I think that's all nonsense. NFT applications, hashtag maybe. I say maybe because I think past the stupid spammy monkey pictures and dumb pixelated JPEGs. And if you think past that to where we have a world where you have non-fungible tokens representing deeds to homes, traffic tickets, airlines tickets, like everything you can imagine in the real world. Like, why do you get a paper receipt? Shouldn't somebody just touch your phone and you get an e-receipt or a digital receipt? And an NFT would do that. And it just takes that receipt, copies it to a blockchain somewhere. Great, done. So I could see housing a bunch of ledgers if you didn't want to do it on a layer 2, which I don't know why. See, that doesn't make any sense. Because there's plenty of layer 2s. This is a big reach. Anyway, security applications, that's bullshit. Challenges faced by layer 3s. So like most of the leading blockchains have interoperability issues. That's on purpose because they all want to be number one. But now they may be kind of getting past all that. So layer 3s face the challenge of creating solutions that enable smoother integration between blockchains, although the communities don't seem to want to work together. Like at one point, Cardano was going over and saying, hey, Algorand, we should all work together. And they were like, nope, we're going to fail on our own. This is the failure formula. We're going to fail alone rather than succeed together. Okay. Enjoy your token down at 9 cents. Anyway, layer 3 networks may find it challenging to develop an infrastructure that manages high transaction volumes while maintaining security. You can't have everything. Like, the reason these layer 1s aren't perfect is because you can't have 100%. Think of a car on a racetrack. Each wheel can't have 100% of the car's traction. The most it can be is that all of the traction is in one wheel and all of the other wheels are zero. But usually it's some degree, right? You hit the brakes, the weight pushes, leans the car forward. Most of the traction and friction is on the front tires, right? And the rear tires, very little or none. It's the same thing. You can't be really, really super fast and really, really super secure and have perfect transaction validation and termination. You can't. You cannot have 100% of all three. You have 100% total to split. That's just how it works. So I don't know, man. The layer 3 thing seems pretty spammy. So for those of you that like continue to email me, like, what do you think about this layer 3? I don't think layer 3s are worth shit because layer 2s are not utilized. And it's only because the layer 1s either are not interesting to people or like there are no problems with Cosmos, really Algorand either, or Cardano as far as throughput and all this. You look at like these companies like Solana and stuff. Oh, look at our transaction throughput. We like thousands of transactions a second. Yeah, but every 5th transaction fails. You have to count that part. You have to count the failures too. By the way, I was talking to Brandon. I think he told me that the SEC just dismissed a bunch of scammy Solana ETFs. Just said like, nope, no. Bye-bye. You're done. They're actually going after Solana. They're going after Tron too. I don't know if you guys saw that news. They're fighting Tron. They're fighting the good fight. Whatever that means. Justin Sun is a piece of shit. Justin Sun, Tron was a hack job copy of Ethereum. And then Justin Sun just waited, and anytime anybody does anything, he just makes a copy of it. Just a bold face, straight up copy. Usually a hack job copy, and it usually fails. Pretty much everything Tron has done has been a fail. Because he's just a cheap 2-bit counterfeiter. I mean, he's not near the quality of counterfeiter as the guys at Tether. They are champion, like world-class counterfeiters. But yeah, but Justin Sun. Anyway, Justin Sun has broken like a variety of laws all over the world, like big ones. And he's now fighting. His arguments now are like, you can't rule me, SEC. I don't live in the US. And the SEC is like, yeah, but you come here all the time to raise money. So yes, we can. He's like, no, you can't. I'm not there. Ha ha. I'm Chinese. I'll fix things somewhere else and you won't catch me. And I was friends with everybody at Binance until they started going to prison. And I'm out, bro. I'm not even friends with them anymore, man. I'm my own man. You won't catch me. That dude will be wearing orange like all the other guys. At some point, he's going to be, if they got Sleazy CZ, they're going to get Justin Sun. So anyway, keep that in mind. All of you Tron owners out there, you do you. All right. Let's switch gears. I didn't really see any compelling questions. I am kind of perusing the chat. I didn't see anything compelling. I'm glad you guys have your own conversations. I can do my thing. You can do yours. I can just be like some background noise to your conversations, which is fine. I think I'm probably background noise to a lot of people's conversations. I'm okay with that. Especially Planned Parenthood. They don't listen to me. They don't listen to me at all. All right. Let's talk about value. We've talked about this before. We're going to talk about value versus price.
Hello. You're late.
You're bad at math, but I'm giving you an A+ in confidence.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Extra credit.
All right. So this is something I was listening to a discussion that Lex Friedman was having, and a value question came up. And it was pretty interesting. It was with Bill Ackman. And if you guys remember the big war between the Herbalife wars and all that kind of stuff, pretty awesome. I mean, Ackman is not a dummy. He's not a chump. He's an interesting dude, and he's almost been bankrupted a few times, and he's like clawed his way out of it. I think he runs Pershing Square, but anyway, he's pretty awesome. I like Ackman. I think he's like a legitimately nice, like decent human. So you want those kinds of guys to succeed. But he's been on the wrong end of some tough stuff. Anyway, he's learned a lot of lessons, and they were talking about price and value. So I thought that's a good discussion. It's something that I think people still miss quite frequently. So let me get my little screens correct. All right. So today we're going to talk about understanding value versus price and kind of a guide to sound financial and personal decision-making. So not just in finance, but the value and price discussion outside of finance. So we're going to dive into what I think is an essential concept that applies, and we discussed this. It comes up a lot in conversation, but for your financial investment life, it's important, but also your personal life. And that's the difference between what is the value of a thing and what is the price of a thing. Seems simple, value and price, right? So these two terms are often used interchangeably, but they represent fundamentally different concepts. So if you understand the distinction between them, then you can make better, more informed decisions, and they will benefit you financially and personally. And we all know which one of those is more important. Financially. I can't make your personal life better. Make you richer. Price. Everybody's going to write this. How many people do we have here? Let's see. 166. Oh, it's a quiet day. Price is the amount of money you pay for something. It is objective and quantifiable. I'm going to put it on the screen and everybody's going to type it. Here it is. Type it. Boop. Price is the amount of money that you pay for something. It's objective and quantifiable. It is on the price tag. You see it. It costs this. Bitcoin costs this. This is the price. Man. All right, let's write it. Let's see you. What write you, humans? Price is what I pay. Price is the amount of money you pay for something. No, and Donna, that's not enough. It's not what you pay. You pay in time. You pay in sweat. You pay. It's the amount of currency units or money that you pay for something. Price is not objective. No, you have, I know that you're joking. I hope that you're joking. No, man, you guys, look, price isn't what you pay. This is the problem. You really want to get this specifically. Price is the amount of money that you pay for something. It's not a loose, gooey term. Price is what I pay. That could be sitting in a car. How are all of you guys getting this wrong? It's literally on the screen. You can't get this wrong. It's right in front of you. You say, well, that's a distinction without a difference. No, it's not. It's a huge difference. Huge. It's huge. The difference is huge. I have the best difference. I have the biggest difference. Okay. Value, on the other hand, is more subjective. It's what something is worth to you personally. Value can vary from person to person based on needs, desires, circumstances, perceptions. Okay. Value is the gooey one. Value is the flexible, elastic term. Price is not. It is inelastic. It is finite. It is specific. Okay. So for value, I want you to write, value is what something is worth to you personally. Value is what something is worth to you personally. You got to get this right. Yeah, that's right. That's the term perceived value. Perceptions, bro. Perceptions. And bro, Cephases. Yes. Good. Now we're getting there. Okay. So understanding that price is what you pay and value is what you get is like the very first step. You need to nail this part. Okay. Price is the amount of money that you pay, right? The amount of money. And value is the stuff that you get. And the stuff is the gooey term. And there was a quote that a matter of fact, I have the quote. It's a good one. It's a value quote. I saved it because it was a good value quote. Where are you, value quote? Oh, I hope I didn't erase it. Damn me. No. If people value something, it has value. If people do not value something, it does not have value. And there is no intrinsic value to it or about it. Okay. The same is not true for price. It doesn't matter if you don't value it, it still has a price. Okay. The financial side of this discussion. So in the financial world, distinguishing between value and price is critical. So consider investments. So the stock price of a company is what you pay when you purchase shares, the amount of currency units you trade to purchase shares. The intrinsic value of those shares is determined, by a variety of mechanisms. Everybody has their own way of kind of determining an intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is pretty flimsy, but you try to quantify it. For us, we have the 5 T's. That's how we're quantifying intrinsic value. 5 T's and then use, utility, and adoption. In stock picking, basically, you look at a company's future cash flow, earnings potential, dividends, right? The amount of money that it would pay you on a continual basis to hold it. And you're doing a little speculating. This allows you to speculate better. You're still speculating, but allows you to speculate better, right? Warren Buffett, who was one of the most, is one of the most successful investors, and his late partner, Charlie Munger, they emphasize the importance of buying a stock at a price that is lower than what you believe its intrinsic value is. Hush, machine. You're being noisy now. I think I'm going to do, what should I do? Should I finish off with strength? I like to be strong. I want to be strong. I want to live. Okay. It's doing its thing. Charlie and Warren are known as the original big time value investors. And so this idea of buying something, buy a cigarette with 3 puffs on it, 3 puffs left on it, and then sell 2 of the puffs, right? So this is value investing, right? buying a stock or asset at a price lower than what you perceive its intrinsic value is, and that you think other people are misassuming or misassessing it. And this is the good thing about a world of dummies is that for whatever reason, for many reasons, whether it's time, initiative, interest, level of excitement, willingness to whatever, people tend to misvalue things all the time. So if you have a system for valuing, like we use the 5 T's and or just like a simple kind of intrinsic value assessment of a stock or any asset, a house on a street that you're looking at buying, whatever. This value investing approach requires assessing whether price accurately reflects true value. And since most people don't do any of the homework or like roll up their sleeves or do any work, you're almost always going to have a place where you can take advantage of a mismatch in effort or a mismatch in intellectual ability, an intellectual or a laziness arbitrage, right? A work arbitrage, an effort arbitrage. So when you are assessing an asset, you're basically saying, I'm looking at the long-term potential of this asset rather than short-term little price fluctuations. And if I think the space in between what it should be worth, what I believe it's worth, and what it's priced at is big enough, because essentially what you're saying is what I think this thing could be priced at, forward-looking, speculative, and what it is priced at, which is a right now finite thing. There's a big gap in there, and I want to get that gap. I want to gobble up that spread. That's arbitrage. So on the actionable side, how do you start kind of implementing? So research, due diligence. Before making financial investments, do thorough research. Like, I know people that buy cars with less research than they do when they're looking at a movie they're going to watch. I mean, man, I probably watched stuff before Deadpool and Wolverine. I guarantee you I watched more than 2 hours worth of stuff about it to see a 2-hour movie. Weird, right? Did my due diligence, dug into the fundamentals. Forget the ticket price. I know there's value there. Anyway, you have to do research on what you're looking at buying. Don't make a buying decision and don't just rely on the price. And don't just look at the price and go, well, it's lower now than it was, therefore that's a good deal. It also may be that the information has changed. The fundamentals have changed. You need to analyze again. Don't let price be the determinant factor. Let what you believe the price should be or could be the determinant factor. And that's a forward-looking, speculative assertion. You're asserting. You're expressing your thesis based on your research. And be patient. Value investing requires patience, man. So you need to wait for the price to align, the price, meaning what you have to pay, with your assessment of where you think the value takes this asset before making a purchase. Okay. You get it? So it's okay to sit on your hands sometimes. You don't have to participate for the sake of participation. So what does this mean in a more personal perspective? So let's translate these concepts away from just money, although again, it's all everything, what's good for the goose, good for the gander, right? But these concepts apply to your personal life too. So imagine you're buying a car. We love cars. I'm buying a car. Oh, I'm going to be buying a car in like the next 3 or 4 weeks. Although in my case, I already know the price. I know the down payment. I know the premium. I know everything because I've done the research. I've probably done more research than I'll ever spend actual time in the vehicle, but it is what it is. Anyway, so you're buying a car. You see what the price is, but then what about the value? The value might include reliability, elegance, fuel efficiency, battery efficiency, Brand reputation, right? Like, oh, I don't want a Toyota when I could have a Mercedes for the same price. Well, give and take. Or how much you just personally enjoy driving it. I know very few people that actually care about driving. Does anyone here actually like driving? It's like me and 4 people. No one else cares about driving. But for the few of us that care about driving, that becomes a big deal. And I've been in some cars that were not big names that drove freaking awesome. Anyway, I digress. So a lot of times we get all caught up in the price of a thing without considering its longer term value. And this is where our cognitive biases kick in, like anchoring, where we fixate on an initial price and that can lead us astray. Or we fixate on what the price was, say a few weeks ago. Oh, it got down to 50K. So I don't want to buy it at 60K. Okay, that's one way of kind of doing it, I guess. But it also got to 74K and it's also been as low as like 3 pennies. So anyway, it's really where it's going, not where it's been. Where it's been just tells you about the past, and that's good. But anchoring can lead you astray. Don't just fixate on price. Fixate as much as you can on value. And that's, again, you derive value to you, right? So the biology of this is that your brain has a natural tendency to seek immediate gratification. This we talked about this. This is driven by the limbic system, hence gambling, which leads us to focus on price rather than value. So you are kind of biologically designed to make a poor investment decision because people don't think long term. People are finite, quick, instant gratification machines, right? Again, driven by the limbic system. That makes you focus on price, or the kinds of things contextually that lead you to think about price. However, the prefrontal cortex, which this is the area responsible for rational thinking, investing long-term in finite goals, it helps you evaluate long-term value. And this is the key to training your brain, and that is train your brain to use the prefrontal cortex more effectively in decision-making. This is why we do game theory. This is why we think game theory. So what is the kind of the actionable advice here? Pause and reflection. So before making a significant purchase, like the car, take a moment to consider the long-term value. Ask yourself, is this worth the price in the long run? So I will give you an example. We're getting a car, the new Lamborghini, they call it, it's hybrid. It's not hybrid, but it is technically hybrid. It's hybrid electric, gas, whatever. It's a V12 with 3 batteries, with a battery, capacitor, and 3 little motors, and that's technically constitutes. But it's a 1,000 horsepower car. So for the gearhead, for someone who likes driving race cars, it's a race car. It's awesome. Woo woo! It's good. We think it will rent well. We don't know, but we think it will rent well. It's the replacement for the Aventador. The price range, well, it's high. It's between about 700 and $1 million. And then there's a premium. So there's about $100K premium on top of that. So you have to kind of consider those things. And on the other, so you say, okay, well, is this worth? Okay, so what do you have to put down on a car like that? So on that, no, the Temerario is the smaller one. The Temerario is the smaller one. This is the other one. This is the Revuelto. The Temerario is the Huracan replacement. It's a V8. It's a twin turbo V8, kind of similar. It's about 920 horsepower, I think. Although I think those things can be mapped up. But the Temerario is cool, but it's a little bit softer, a little bit less futuristic. Anyway, also cool, but that's going to be in the 400 to 500K range. But that will only rent. See, that car is going to rent for the same price as a Huracan. Huracan you can get for 275 to 300K. So you're going to be paying another 150 to 200K on a Temerario that rents for the same price as an Evo, as a Huracan Evo. So you're like, ugh. Whereas this will be the replacement for the Aventador. So it's going to be twice. I mean, it'll probably be $2,500 to $3,000 a day. It'll rent out like an SF90 Ferrari. Anyway, so we go, Eric and I go through these things and we're like, okay, what if it has, what can we expect per month? 3 days, 5 days. Can we get a long-term rental on it? This is all the math you go into. Also, can we buy it underneath the premium or as close to MSRP as possible so that we have a premium cooked into it? And then while we rent it, could we offer it for sale for, say, half that premium? So we're renting it, we're getting paid. And then someone comes in and says, hey, you guys have a Revuelto? Sweet, I want one. Oh, well, they're $150K over sticker. Oh, you guys are only charging $75 over sticker. I'll take it. We're like, cool, you can have it. Here it is. Yay. So that's the kind of math we do. But if I was doing that same math as an owner of the vehicle, just a private owner with no business side to it, it would be a terrible decision. It would be awful. Yes, it would be fast and fun and crazy, and it would be amazing to drive, but it would be $17,000 a month the way that rates are right now. We're going to buy it all cash because we're not completely stupid. If rates were in the, say, like 3 to 8 range, we would finance it. But otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to pay these dudes 17% APR on a car. That's stupid. And no one should pay that. So anyway, we're gonna buy it out, but specifically for business. So if you do that math, if you pause and reflect, prioritizing value over price, which is, like focus on what truly matters to you. As a business, these are the concerns. As a personal owner, these are the concerns: quality, durability, personal satisfaction, the actual cost, the amount that I have to pay each month, plus the down payment, which is no less than 150 racks. So those are the same thing, the same physical entity, physical thing, item, with 2 completely different outcomes, just depending on where you sit. The leg exercise machine. Oh yeah, because it's on the tough one, the strength one right now. You can't tell. I'm not gritting my teeth, but you're supposed to go until you grit your teeth. I don't usually go to grit my teeth mode, but you can. So anyway, I just don't do it. It says you want to have it moving your legs around because it moves blood around. So cool. Anyway, move the blood. So bringing these concepts down to everyday decisions. Think about your daily expenses. Think about groceries and clothing and gadgets and shoes with labels. Are you buying things because they're cheap, which means you're price focused, or because they offer value? I get caught up in this on Uber Eats. It's like, oh, 2 for 1. I'm like, yeah, 2 for 1. That's an amazing deal. Except if it's 2 pieces of crap, or if they scam you. Oh, no. The Revuelto is complete redesign from the ground up. If you give it another look. It's not anything like the Aventador. It has some front end elements that are kind of similar to the Evo, to the Technica, but not. It's a complete rebuild. That thing's it's 1,015 horsepower. It's a rocket ship, dude. Take you to the moon. Anyway, so think about expenses, think about groceries, clothing, think about your basic costs, like your internet stuff. Think about all the things that you buy and make sure that you're not price focusing. Make sure that you are value focusing. So you might buy, for example, a more durable but slightly more expensive pair of shoes, but that they last 3 times as long. So you're thinking, okay, cool, quality over quantity. Invest in fewer high quality items that provide longer term value rather than some of the low cost crap that doesn't last. Like if I find a pair of shoes that I like, I've showed you like my Adidas ones, I get every color that I could imagine wearing. And then I have a set of shoes that's going to last. And I know my feet don't have to keep readjusting. Like I know what I'm going to feel when I'm on the ground all the time because all the shoes are basically the same, just different colors. So if you find, that's what I do. And it actually saves me money over time. Anyway, I think it does. But that's a purely value decision. Anyway, and then I try to get the best price by going on eBay and finagling. I will finagle. I finagle like a mofo. Anyway, keep the budget with value in mind, meaning when you're budgeting, allocate funds based on the value that each item or service brings to you, not just the price of those items. So like when you're doing your sheet, hopefully you guys are doing your balance sheet, your household balance sheet, right? Income, expenses, assets, liabilities, what's left is cash flow. Out of that, you get your investable income and all this. Hopefully you're doing that, your personal balance sheet on a regular basis. You should be doing it once a month, but most of you probably do it once a year, which is fine, whatever. Anyway, you should be doing it on a regular basis because it changes and you can learn a lot about that. Anyway, understanding the difference between value and price is not a little nuanced kind of who cares kind of discussion. It is the difference between value and price is neither specifically financial or specifically life strategy. It's a mix of everything. So I guess it is life strategy, overall life strategy, but it wouldn't be like just for your home life, right? So by focusing on value, right, prefrontal cortex, rather than price, being distracted by price, limbic system type, dummy, animal, Michael Saylor, gambling thinking, you can make more informed decisions that benefit you in the long run, whether you're investing in stocks, buying crypto, buying AI assets, buying a car that you might rent out, or one that you might park in your driveway, or making everyday purchases. So in both personal life and investing life, price is the amount of currency units that you pay for a thing. Value is what you truly get from that thing. And if other people eventually come around to the value in the way that you have, ideally, that would create a place where you could exit that thing, that item, for a higher price. So it's kind of like you go price to value to price again. Cool, right? Anyway, there you go. That's all I have to say about that. Hypercycle versus ASI. That would be value versus price, I guess. Quality versus quantity. Yes. Okay. So I would say it's important to dig into these things, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself shortcutting the value proposition side of your research. You will find yourself not doing the 5 T's, not looking and seeing if the asset can achieve use, utility, and wide scale adoption. You will find yourself not doing the homework, and you must do the homework. Let's see if this one's better. Ooh, it made the picture in the center, but that's weird. It's like I'm hiding with the comments. I don't want to hide with the comments. Anyway, stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk, strung on meth grandmother, who is for sure a grifter, wouldn't do, or Brandon, who's likely wearing his I'm sure he's wearing his tank top because it's probably hot as hell where he lives. And on that note, I bid you a fond adieu. We will see you tomorrow. We will see you on tomorrow.
If you're an accredited investor and you want in on angel, seed round, or early round equity and token opportunities in the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency space, schedule an interview at nickblacknext.com. In life, you can either be really good, really lucky, or just be first. Being first is so much easier. Schedule a digital private client interview today at nickblacknext.com.